Hello everyone, it's Miss Martinez. I want to make sure that you are able to set up your TCC WebAdvisor account because it is extremely important for you to do basically all things related to TCC. So you can access financial aid on here, make sure that you don't need to turn in any extra documents, view your award letter, accept the money, and then of course register for classes and do all the other things that you need to do as well. But of course, money is so important. So this is just going to show you how to log into your WebAdvisor for the first time. So I just Google TCC WebAdvisor. And when I get here, I just go straight to login. And so when you get here, you're not going to know your username and password. I believe it could have been emailed to you, but just to save the hassle of having to look it up, I just go straight to password reset and help. And then put what's my username. And then for the last name, obviously put in your last name. And you can do a social, or your colleague ID number is your TCC ID number. Now this number for sure was emailed to you. It was emailed to the email address you applied with in Applied Texas. So if you know your social, obviously put it in. If not, you need to learn this number anyway, but find your TCC ID number in your email address. So I'm going to put in the number now. Okay, so then it's just going to pop up saying, here's your username. So make sure that you write this username down. So I'm just going to go ahead and write this one down to make sure that I am doing this correctly. Okay, and then if you notice, it says your initial default password is the last 6 digits of your social security number. So since we know what the password is, we'll just go back to login, and then we'll put in that username that it said. And the initial password again is the last 6 of your social. So you're going to need your social anyway the first time around. Then log in. And since this is the first time we've gotten into this account, you've got to set up the security questions immediately. So just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to answer some questions for this student. And of course, pick whatever questions that you want. And then submit. So once you've set up those security questions, then you'll get to this page, and make sure you read what it's telling you up here. So it's saying that the password must be changed. So in order to change the password, we've got to click one of these down here. You're either going to change the password because you know it already, or you're going to change the password saying you don't know your password. The first time around, we know your password is the last 6 of your social. So just click that. Oh, and by the way, if you don't have a social security number, your initial password is going to be the last 6 numbers of your TCC ID number. So that's your first password if you don't have a social security number. Okay, so we're back to changing a password. So here we go. So the current password is again the last 6 of your social. And then a new password. So read this information up here. You'll save yourself a lot of time. Your new password has to be between 12 and 50 characters. What the heck? And it needs to not have any part of your name. So not your first name, last name, no mix of your name. And it has to have uppercase, lowercase, and a number in it. So it's a long password. And for password hint, obviously put whatever you want. But since I made this password so long, I mean, the student's going to change it anyway, because y'all don't need to be spilling his identity. But I'm just putting a hint that's not his password, so good luck. Oh, see? Look, I didn't even listen. Your password must comply with TCC ID password requirements. So it needs to have an uppercase, lowercase, and a number. Oh, see, I didn't listen. So I'll just add a number there. I guess you don't have to have that in the hint, but that's not the password anyway. Okay, now it says password synchronized, and so your password has been changed. Now it's no longer the last 6 of your social. So you'll go back to login, and since it's the first time you went into your TCC WebAdvisor account, you have to kind of read all this stuff, and at the end you've got a box to check and move forward. It's up to you if you're going to read it, but to get past this, you got to check and submit. And then you're going to have multiple more checkboxes. So if you want to read it, go ahead. I know what it says, so I'm going past it. A lot of people have a question on this 1098, whether you want to receive it online or mailed. Obviously, online's nice because it just goes straight to your email, and then you kind of figure out, well, a notification will go to your email. Then you've got to set up an outside account in order to retrieve this form. So this form is going to be helpful whenever you're doing taxes the year after. So at the end of the year, when people get W-2s or paperwork to do their taxes, this is one of the forms that you get if you're in school. So I always do by mail, but it's up to you. Online, you're just going to have another account, another password, lots of other stuff. This definitely pay attention to. It is your TCC email address. So at least right here, you know what the email address is, and then we'll have to still go set it up. I'm not reading all of this, and I doubt y'all will either. Check and submit. Okay, so we're in. So every time that you log into WebAdvisor, this is the first page you're going to get to. This is what it looks like. So to actually get to where it looks like WebAdvisor does a lot for you, click Students. And then now you'll see why WebAdvisor is so important. So you've got tons of stuff, your student information, your TCC ID numbers here in case you forget it for some reason. Meningitis, when you get your shot, you can submit it here. I believe you can just scan the paper and send it here. If you did your TSI with TCC and want to download your scores, you could go here. And if you want to go to another university, those scores can go to another university. So just send those off that way. Later when you register for classes, this is where you find them, register. And then all of this over here is kind of payment, money, and financial aid. This is where it's so important. So I'm going to do another video about financial aid, but we're into this WebAdvisor account, and that was the first setup. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, remember your first password is the last 6 numbers of your social security number. And if you do not have a social security number, it's the last 6 of your TCC ID number. And you can also always call their help desk if you need help and you can't get into it still. They kind of just reset it over the phone, and it's really helpful. So their number is 817-515-8324. Thanks, y'all. Bye.